Hey Coyote fans, welcome into the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee. Great to have you this week. It's a busy time for Coyote Volleyball, and here to talk about it is head coach Leanne Williamson. Coach, team coming off of a hard-fought win against North Dakota State on Saturday, jump out to the early lead. They get momentum on their side. That fifth set can be kind of tough when you're losing momentum, but your team found a way on Saturday.
Yeah, we absolutely did, and we've talked about it. We'll continue to talk about it. That's what we kind of expect out of a lot of different conference matches. We played very well in sets 1 and 2. Definitely controlled the serve and pass game, which made it a lot simpler on our end. And they made some switches. They started passing better. Our passing broke down just a little bit, where we became a little bit more predictable. But they definitely got a lot better defensively too. Just dug a lot more balls, blocked some more balls, and I think with that, it stressed us out for a little bit. So we got a little bit messy in set 3 and 4. But I think the positive is we were down in both of those sets late, I think 2 and 3 points behind, and we were able to tie it up late and give ourselves a chance. And that's something that we actually haven't really done recently. So that was really good to see. And then set 5, we're down 9-5. I had taken both timeouts at that point in time already, and we just talked about just being one run away. That's kind of been something that we've talked a lot about during the course of the season, and then went on our own 7-0 run. So behind Alaina Wolff serving, and she had a great little stretch there for us. So I think it was really good to see our team respond that way. We were resilient. I think we played with a lot of joy together as we started to see ourselves have that success, and just really proud of them for finding a way to win, because any win is a win at this point.
How tough is that fifth set? You've been in a few of them in your career, but it's different when you're the team that's building momentum to force Game 5 versus the team that feels like it's losing momentum to be in Game 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. As coaches, I think we always just cater that talk to whatever situation we're in at that point, and we've definitely been a part of a couple of reverse sweeps. We've been on the other end, like we were this weekend, where we were up 2-0 and then let the next two slip away. So every situation is a little bit different, but I think set 5 is really that reset point, of it's one game to 15, winner takes all. And I liked our demeanor. I liked how aggressive we were. Even in set 5 when we were down and we were making some errors, I thought we were doing so aggressively. They just didn't necessarily pan out for us. So I would rather take some errors because we're on the aggressive side than making errors because we're tentative. 4
players in double digits in kills really shows. We've talked a lot about the depth of this group, but different players stepping up.
Absolutely. I think our players are starting to get into a little bit more of a rhythm as we go, and I think we're going to continue to see different people step up in different moments. But, I think the other thing I would point out is Avery is scoring the ball at a higher level than what she was that first part of the season. So it adds another attacker that people have to pay attention to, and it actually opens up some of our actual hitters. So I've been really happy with the way we've run our offense. I think we got better from Thursday to Saturday as well, just in terms of the execution of things, the location, and attackers just being a little bit more intentful with where we're hitting the ball. So overall, great weekend, great team win, and something that we have to continue to rely on.
You mentioned Avery. She had her 4th straight double-double. She's getting some digs, obviously a lot of assists. I think she had 41 on Saturday. You're talking about scoring the ball as well. It feels like this season, her versatility has really started to show.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even you look back to last year, freshman season, we had to pick and choose at times, what we were really going to focus on, because we can't throw 6 things at her at once and expect her to be able to be great in all those areas. So, we chose a couple where we thought she could make probably the biggest difference. But now, she actually didn't even have an off season, but with her being able to practice in the summer and then come back in the fall, we were able to just give her more responsibility, more coaching, more feedback of things that she needed to improve on. And I think she's done a really good job of taking that criticism and helping herself get better.
You mentioned Alaina with the serving really helped ignite this team in that 5th set. Where did you feel the energy start to shift for your team that you knew that this team really had a chance to win that 5th set?
I mean, we were down 9-5, scored that point to put us to 9-6, and scored that next point. And you could just tell once we were within 2, I think the demeanor shifted a little bit, and we just got more and more aggressive, and you could start to feel the energy really, I think, build upon each other. And I think the biggest moment is when Alaina had that ace. I think it was 9-9. We thought it was in. They called it in. NDSU challenged it. They kept the call, so that gave us that point. And I felt really confident in what what the team was doing at that point in time. I think it was a big confidence builder for our team as well. And even though they scored a few points to kind of bring it a little bit closer again, I just felt like we were in a really good spot as a team.
Did you learn anything about this team throughout this course of the match, or anything just kind of solidify what you'd already envisioned about this group?
I mean, I don't think necessarily anything like massive within the team, but I think we just continue to learn our players more, and we do have a young group on the court, and some of it is figuring out how to best give them feedback, how to best get the most out of them. And I think we talked about it early in the season. It's a learning moment for us, a lot of learning moments along the way. And I think we're starting to have some of those aha moments that, hey, like this really clicked for this person, or this really made sense when we gave them feedback in this way. And we had some really good responses of individuals. So that's the thing that I'm the most excited about, is that once we are able to kind of uncover some of those things, then we can help them become their best selves. And I think that's probably the biggest takeaway that we had this weekend is I think the four of us are starting to figure out, how do we best impact the people on our team.
South Dakota right in the middle of a busy stretch for volleyball. The Coyotes will have 3 matches coming up this week. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit with Coach Williamson. Up next, Alaina Wolff will join us. That's coming up on the Coyote Volleyball Show, presented by Scooters Coffee.
This segment brought to you by Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee. Amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast.
Back in the Coyote Volleyball Show, presented by Scooters Coffee. Great to have you for another episode of the Coyote Volleyball Show. It's a busy week for Coyote Volleyball. Here with us is Alaina Wolff, who continues to play at a high level for Coyote Volleyball, coming off a thrilling win over North Dakota State. Talk about that match, how that worked out for your team, a good lead, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, and you really had to fight to the finish in that match.
Yeah, we came out really strong in the first 2 sets, beating them pretty handedly, and we always talk about finishing the match, and no one's really ever out of it. So we believe that ourselves too, and it came to show in the 5th set. I think we were down 9-5 and came back and won the 5th, and so no one's really ever out of it. Just keep playing our game 1 point at a time, and hopefully it goes in our way.
Part of that run, you were at the service line and kind of got on a roll there for a little bit. Yeah. Coach was talking about it. Sometimes when you get in that groove, do you just feel it as a server, or is there a lot of thoughts going through your head, or how do you get on a roll?
Yeah, I think all night I was pretty focused and hitting my zone pretty well, and our serving scheme kind of was getting them out of system in the first 2 sets especially. And so when I went back in the 5th set, I just really tried to channel my inner server in my first 2 sets and focus on hitting that zone and just doing the process.
When you're going through serves like throughout the course of the year, obviously there are going to be some errors. You're trying to pinpoint the ball. Sometimes it just doesn't match up. How do you try to overcome that and just move on to the next serve?
Serving is really, really mental, and I think we focus a lot in practice. We serve every day. It's something I've been doing now for a really, really long time, is serving, and so I just have to trust my training and go back and be confident in the serve that I'm serving.
How do you get those knuckleballs to go flying over?
It's lucky. I don't know. It's not a skill we practice. It just goes over. So.
How important was that win for your team on Saturday? Obviously, it had to be a fight to the finish, but finding a way to get that win.
Yeah, I think our team has found ourselves in a lot of tight situations, and I think overcoming the deficit in the 5th set and coming back with a win was really huge. North Dakota State is a really good team. They're kind of similar to us in the standings, so the game could have went either way, but I think coming out on top was really good, especially to set us up here for the next week.
You get a Tuesday night matchup with South Dakota State. They're the last unbeaten team in Division I volleyball at 18-0, and I know your team's well aware of that. Every team now that gets to play them wants to be the first one to hand them that loss. How do you go into this matchup harnessing some of those that excitement and the emotions for that opportunity, but still come out with a lot of energy to play at a high level?
Yeah, we're really excited for Tuesday. The chance to potentially be the first team to beat them this season would be really awesome. I think the interstate series and just the in-state rivalry always puts a lot of energy around these matches. But they're a really good team, so we're just going to focus on our side of the net and go win.
I know you have to, as you go through the season, obviously there's a lot of high-quality volleyball in the Summit League, so you're always focused on the next matchup and that, but you've been around here for enough long enough,
Wow.
right, that you played against South Dakota State
Yeah.
quite a bit. South Dakota's had a lot of success in this series while you have been here. So when you look at that, is it a little bit more to try to keep that rolling?
Yeah, it always goes 5 sets, I feel, when we play them. They're a really, really good team, and like I said, I think the energy around the game just makes both teams want to just play that much better. So I'm really excited for Tuesday, especially in their new arena. It should be a fun match, and I hope a lot of fans come out.
We always talk about the fans at home, right,
Yeah.
and how you can build off of that energy. How do you build off the energy when you're on the road and in a good environment?
Our fans travel really, really well, so we're very thankful for that, but there's just something about beating them on their home floor in years past in front of a sea of blue that is just a different feeling. It's so fun. We kind of feed off the energy of wanting to be the team to quiet the crowd.
How do you and the team handle yourselves this week? You're in the middle of a really, really busy stretch of volleyball. You obviously played last Thursday and Saturday. Now it's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. How do you handle that emotionally and just physically to get through the week?
Yeah, it's a lot. 3 matches here this week and 2 in the last couple days. So it's a tough stretch, but especially against some tough teams. But we're lucky we're home on Thursday, so we get a little bit of a rest. We've been home this last week, so just taking it, being really focused in practice and coming out and just doing our jobs, I think, is really important this week.
As one of the veterans on this team and leaders on this team, what do you want to see out of the group this week? We're really about the halfway point, if not a little past it, in Summit League play. What do you want to see out of this group this week as you guys continue to build towards your goals?
I think one thing that we've been talking about a lot lately is just trust, not only trusting each other, but trusting ourselves, especially during a hard stretch. Things might not always go your way. You're going to have ups and downs in the games, especially in practice too. It might not be your day. And I think we need to just trust ourselves, trust our practice plans, and trust the work that we've put into this so far, because it's going to pay off.
Well, good luck this week and have a great week.
Thank you.
All right, that's Alaina Wolff joining us here on the Coyote Volleyball Show. Coming up next, Coach Leanne Williamson will talk about the week ahead. This is the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee.
This segment brought to you by Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee. Amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast.
Back in the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee. South Dakota has 3 matches coming up this week, 2 of them on the road, and it starts with a Tuesday night matchup against South Dakota State. Coach, before we get into that matchup, how have you tried to handle this week? Obviously, matches Thursday, Saturday, short turnaround. You go this week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yeah, I think first we just have to be aware of what we're asking them to do on some of those days in between the games. I think each of those practices are going to be a little bit shorter than what we would normally do if we were home for an entire week, or if we had a couple days of practice on the front end. So it's a little bit more of that pregame practice, probably about an hour and a half each day. And then again, that recovery, just making sure that they are doing what they can to make sure that they're in the best position that they can be physically, mentally, emotionally, all of the things. So, I think just as we go through, we have to plan practice that's going to be beneficial, to get the most out of our team while preparing, obviously, for that upcoming opponent with essentially one practice. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I definitely think our team's up for it.
Tuesday night matchup with South Dakota State in Brookings. Undoubtedly, they will have a good crowd on hand. They're the last undefeated team in all of Division I volleyball at 18-0. They've been off to such a great start to the year. I know they've used the transfer portal like many teams have to try to fill in some of their spots. But when you look at South Dakota State right now, it's a very confident group.
Yeah, they're having a great year, and they should be confident in a lot of ways. And, I know you mentioned they're going to have a great crowd up there. I hope so. That's why these rivalry games are fun. That's why these big matches are something that we want to be a part of. We want to play in those environments, and we want to be challenged, at a high level. So we're definitely going to have that. They're a good blocking team. That's probably the biggest thing that kind of stands out to me is they've got a couple players that can score the ball, but I think they can really impact the game with their defense at the net. So we'll be as prepared prepared for that as possible, but definitely looking forward to, again, a good matchup, and our team's excited. I mean, this is a match that we look forward to all season, and it's kind of funny that this is the last, match that we have, the last team that we haven't played yet. So we're definitely looking forward to that, and we'll be ready. But it should be a good environment, and it should be a good match.
When you look at them, what challenges do they present?
Like I said, their block is probably one of the biggest thing, and they have a couple players that can score the ball at a pretty high level. A couple of them are in the top 2 to 3, I think, in hitting percentage right now, and we have to be prepared for that. But I do think we've gotten better in some of those areas in terms of what position those players are in, and then how we play defense behind it. So we know they're going to score their points. We have to be okay with that. We're going to have to move on from some of those things, but at the same time, I think that there's some benefits that we have on our team that I think we'll be able to take advantage of that they do as well.
It's a little different with a Tuesday night matchup, so the routine is a little different. I hope that doesn't disallow some of our fans who want to make that trip. Is it a little strange having the Tuesday nights? This is different scheduling here the last couple of years that the Summit League has kind of changed with. Would you like this particular matchup being on a weekend, or is it fine in the midweek?
I think that both of our fan bases are going to show up. We play them on a Tuesday at the end of the season here as well, so both of us are kind of in the same situation there. We would love for it to be on the weekend. I actually think moving forward, they're working on trying to make sure that it is a weekend so we can fully take advantage of the rivalry. But Tuesday matches are something that we've played the last few years, so we're not a stranger to it. And honestly, I think at this point in time, they're so ready to play this match that I think a couple days of practice might actually be kind of hard.
Well, as you look through this week, obviously you're focused on that matchup, but you do get a home matchup coming up later in the week, and another good opportunity for our fans to come out and see this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Thursday night we'll be playing here versus Denver, a team that we swept the first time around on their home floor, but I doubt that would happen again. They're a very good team. We're both going to make some adjustments of things that did or did not go well the first time around, so it's kind of fun to play people for that second time, just because we might prepare for something that worked really well the first time, but chances are they've made some changes to that as well. So it's a little bit of a, hey, we're going to start this way, and then we have to plan to be able to make changes, whether it's defensively or offensively, based on what they change as well.
What do you need to see out of the group to get through a really busy week with a lot of success?
I think staying engaged, staying in the present, making sure that we're not looking behind, we're not looking forward, we're really just being where our feet are, and I think today is a great opportunity for us to get a little bit better at practice, and then tomorrow, same thing. We've got a serve and pass earlier in the day where we get to get into their new gym and get used to what that looks like, how the ball moves, all of that, and then get to compete. But we've got to make sure that we just take it one day at a time. And this is a tough week. It's a tough stretch. Obviously going the Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, that's a lot of matches in a short amount of time. But so far, I feel like our team has done really well with that.
Well, I know the team will be excited for it. They'll be ready for every match that comes their way, and our fans will be excited for it as well. Coach, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it. Have a great week. Good luck this week. That's Leanne Williamson, the head coach of the Coyote Volleyball team. Coyotes are in action in Brookings Tuesday night for a matchup at 7 o'clock, then back home Thursday against Denver at 7 o'clock, and then Saturday, an afternoon matchup in Kansas City. Busy, busy week for Coyote Volleyball. As always, you can stay tuned to goyotes.com for all of the results and information. That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks to Coach Williamson. I'm John Thayer. This has been the Coyote Volleyball Show presented by Scooters Coffee.
The Coyote Volleyball Show is brought to you by Scooters Coffee. Scooters Coffee. Amazing drinks, amazing people, amazingly fast.